We'll be on in a minute. We're going to be on in a minute. Or 60 seconds or whatever that is. Time to get my period. So let's play a little music.
Yo, this is something new by Notorious ass.
I'm just going to rename these songs. Going to be on air any minute now. Here we go. Good evening, good morning. I think the volume is turned up a little loud, but we're going to have a trigger on that. Speaking of triggers, today's episode is brought to you by the NRA, who issued me this handgun, despite there being a handgun ban in Canada. Since we're not in Canada, we're in Push County, New York, I think we're okay. So we're trying a little experiment today. We're seeing if Google bans this CD, seeing if this has a master on it. Because Lakota has no master. Lakota has a monster, and that's me. The Lakota Spider. Why have one? When you can have two? Bones pe ichinopa. What is this? Tiopa. Itoape. Chambalaska. Wo ospe onaye. Wa onspe kia. Wiachke. Wichazo. Wo apiska. Yushla. Wayala hoshga. Akanwawape. Wiaskape. This guy's putting my eye out. It's actually the rust on these guns, so we're going to have to get somebody in the NRA here to clean them. Uake. I'm putting the guns down, and I'm going to go wash my hands with Ivory. And we're back. We're having a learning lesson right now. I don't know if that's bothering anybody. So today we're going to be looking at the radio guide by his master's voice, Philip Collins, from Edwards. Here we are on CBS, and we'll flip to the radio stations of the Columbia Broadcasting System, showing just a few of Columbia's 90 million listeners. You'll note that today it's 330 million listeners and more. We're on the air on CBS across the world. Well, this is episode 1500 of a reverse episodic series, the shortest running bonanza you've ever seen. So what I'm looking for right now is peace. And I found it. We're going to watch a little bit of an internet clip. Here we go. Here's the internet clip. I sent an email to a fellow who said he could find me management and use of any... I did a Google search for music rights, for the rights to Lean On, my second favorite song of all time. And I wrote an email, and we'll just go over it. I am producing a series of Seniors Cam Jackson clips for the show and require rights to M0 DJ Snake. He sent me a return email from David G. Powell, President, the Music LLC, Music Clearance, Licensing, Supervision, and Consultation. P.O. Box 661918, Los Angeles, California, California 90066. You know, to be frank, that's not 90210. And if Donna Martin graduated, so did I. And since it's not 90210, I know that that area code, 310, is not a legitimate area code for business with the people I want to do business with. The people I'm here to see. We are. Nage. So let's check this dude out. Hi, Peter. Please, he uses my Earth name, strike one. Please feel free to give me a call to discuss your project. Thanks, David. And then there's some foreign language here. So I wrote him a letter back. Hi, I'm a government operative special ops and desire the G-Unit remix of Lean On. Can you provide? I have attached your request in a missive to my boss with D-O double S's. So let's just see what I did. Here we go. Shasta. Tosa. Open. So I wrote to Her Majesty through her lovely website, and I asked William for permission to use this email in a broadcast on Her Majesty's Royal Big Business Computer. And damn it, she hasn't responded. I'm still waiting. So we'll get back next episode to Her Majesty, but we can just see that it's not a very good... David at themusicbridge.com is a music solicitor, and what I'm looking for is a real musician to share music with on my show. So let's close that and head on over to here. In the last episode, we talked about the Dudley Boys and Enzo Amore and Cassidy here. Soft. We're clearing the screen of this nonsense here. Hamilton Popo is on my system. Hey. Ha. Hu. Hua. How you doing? If you're not watching this live through my Wi-Fi system in my house, this may be banned on YouTube, so get with the program. But this is a news broadcast, and I'm using this as fair rights to broadcast over this to comment on the World Wrestling Entertainment production of Shady Beast's incomplete review of Raw. It's my opinion that Shady Beast, if he's going to publish this, should at least come online in a video and audio presentation and add commentary to why he believes he should be able to broadcast this. If Bruce Mitchell and Wade Keller can broadcast full episodes of WrestleMania and do audio play-by-play, I can certainly provide a YouTube screen-in-screen situation to analyze and project the future of WWE entertainment, especially since on my TD Bank statement, I list as my employer World Wrestling Entertainment, where I got a contract from The Undertaker's office assistant about 25 years ago in Stamford, Connecticut, where I first initiated myself in the Connecticut school. The Stamford school is something I want to learn about, and it's something particularly interesting to people of Stamford and people who've seen some of the early vignettes that Mr. Ted DiBiase created. I'm Carney for Stone Cold Steve Austin. You can't reach me. Realest guy in Boston's hotel room. SAWFT. Seagulls, someone got my brain transmission. Steak and bacon eating motherfucker. Beyond Bernie Sanders. Just a note, I've never met the Sting. Woo! I'd like to meet Sting to see what he has to say about my perspective on Christian and the peeps. Renaissance man, just like the Detroit Renaissance. And as soon as Big Cass and Enzo Amore play at Coba Hall, there's going to be giant trees falling down. This reminds me of a story when I used to wrestle in my olden days, trained by Big Scott Amore. And Piazzo. I'm tripping on these colors. I got a homemade LSD here with these red and green lasers.
before?
Yeah.
How seriously did he take you? I mean, because a lot of people want to get in the business, and it just ain't cut out for it. It's a very special breed. As you guys know, we'll get over to the NXT Performance Center. There's a bunch of damn, studs over there, athletic specimens. So, there's not anybody can make it in this business. But
It's an empty arena match.
Good looking kid. Did Johnny Rod see, hey, this kid might have some potential?
I think he did, because from the second I walked in, he paired me up with a guy that had been there a long time. He was their cowboy, and on their shows, he was the main event guy. And
John Wayne.
So
What are you laughing about, Enzo?
Because my name was Cowboy Big Billy Young, because I was his nephew, Bad Billy Younger. So he immediately saw that potential in me. He put me with his top heel.
Yeah.
And I started training with him. And
We're going to take a pause on Enzo Amore and Big Cass.
He immediately saw something and said, okay, we got to get this kid, not fast track, but let's start throwing him in the mix a little bit right away.
Kid from Queens? Where you from? Queens?
I was from Lubbock, Texas. That's where I'm from. Yeah, and I had to put on a fake accent and stuff like that.
Give me a Texas accent.
Oh, yeah.
This is brutal. He's in total Queens mode right now. Hey, tell me a little bit about the Johnny Rod School, because you train a lot of good guys.
Yeah.
So what was training like over there? How consistent was it? Because back in my day in the Dallas Sports Farm with Chris Adams, it was one day a week, and it was after the Saturday morning television taping. There was about 30 cats in the class. And so ring time, as you can imagine, was pretty minimal, other than the tumbling drills, learning how to take a flat back, and then every now and then a little bit of chain wrestling, and then he was out the door. So what was it? Was it 5 days a week? What was it?
Johnny Rod's school is pretty much, once you pay your tuition fee, you're a member for life. And
What did it cost you?
$3,000.
Good investment.
Yeah, of course. And it's 4 days a week. You're not obligated to be there any of those days. And Johnny looks at who's coming in and who's working. And those are the guys that start making his shows. So if you're there, once every month, or you're just showing up one day a week, and that week happens to be the week of the show, he sees right through that. And he appreciates the guys that are coming in, 3 or 4 days a week, and he knows everyone's schedules to pay for wrestling school. They're working jobs, plenty of jobs, so he goes with the guys that are in there busting their ass.
I mentioned the tumbling drills and learn how to take a flat back from my school days. The same as Johnny Rod's, because you got to learn how to start bumping.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't like the mat. All of a sudden, you're a basketball player, you're 6'9", long guys. Kinesiology and physiology works a little bit different when you're taking on those bumps. Did the mats bother you? Did the bumps bother you?
Yeah, so when I first, man, it might have taken me like 2 weeks to even start bumping. And when I finally did, Johnny was there with another guy, Roger, that was at the school, and they just had me bump over and over and over until I finally got down a proper bump. But as you know, when you first start bumping and you're not taking proper bumps, everything's getting rattled inside, and you're just hurting all over.
Yeah, and you start getting rattled. If you don't get the basis, you don't get the foundation, you ain't gonna last long. Because sometimes on those long tours, when things start getting sloppy, then you start, we used to go to UK for about 7 days a week, right to Germany or vice versa. Some of those two-week tours, we were partying pretty hard back in, and so about 10 days in, the guys started getting a little sloppy, and that's when the injuries start. So you gotta learn how to take a bump. Now,
Flat back.
Enzo, tell me about, so you trained over there with Joe DeFranco.
Yeah.
And I know a lot about Joe just from what I've read about him. I know he's a premier strength coach, and he works a lot with Triple H. But you over there training, he just moved to Austin, but he was in Jersey, correct?
Yeah, he's got a facility partnered with On It out in Austin. I know
One of my sponsors.
Yeah, Taker's over there. Taker's, I've never been over there, but he's the only person I've actually talked to about it. He says it's awesome. It's an amazing training facility over there.
But tell me about Joe DeFranco. How'd you hook up with him in Jersey?
One of your sponsors.
South Bear Seagulls?
No, well, actually...
God bless the film festival. God bless the film festival. Must be having a good time right about this hour in Austin, Texas. Things are just winding down for wine hour.
And they told me that I had to leave because I was too awesome. So basically, I went there. I was 18, and I probably should have left home. But I got kicked out rather short stint, and
What? To Mike Awesome.
Down to brass tacks. I was out there racing out all sorts of it, And,
British technology.
just doing my time.
Brass tacks. Let's channel Mike Awesome.
More life, met someone who can cut corners like I can. I absolutely mastered. Okay, I have a degree in writing and journalism. I have literally never read a book in my entire life. Not one book. Not one. I always say, you keep reading them books, I'll keep writing. All right? I've written 1,000 pages. I have 1,000 pages worth of promos that is in print, that I have physically on me at all times. I am a writer, but I will never read a book. It's just not in the cards for me. I can't sit down and do it. I got too much creativity going on in my mind. I say to myself, I'm going to sit here and read this. Why would I write rather than read it?
Look at Davy Boy Smith.
You can't teach that. There's a reason why he says that. You can't teach it.
The ring was floating. Well, I guess it wasn't. The ring was floating on pontoons. Two sides had barbed wire. Two sides had nothing. But in the water, there were actual landmines.
Standing on my head.
Really? Oh, yeah. I'm reading a book about that's called Unbeatable Mind. I was on
funny thing about it, we're in the dressing room. The president of the company comes over with this diagram of the ring. Really nice little diagram. And he's talking in Japanese to everybody. And he's talking in Japanese to everybody.
Chapter about concentration. There's one sentence, and I just read the one sentence, and before I even finish the sentence,
I gotta get a bigger screen. I'm too small for 4K.
I gotta read some of these pages 3 or 4 times before I absorb the information. So then I'm able to focus in and dial it in. So, reading hard for me, but anyway, back to Joe DeFranco. I know a lot of guys that are about to go to the combine will have a successful college career, or they've trained with Joe for years, but a lot of times these guys are ready. How did you go in and start training with Joe? Because I know he's been a very
Here we go.
important part of Triple H's.
Awesome 450 splash.
Original disciple of Joe DeFranco, and there is very few of us left who are still active in the sports world. One of them is Brian Cushing. Me and Brian Cushing were both produced Texans. I'm sure this is.
That's chain wrestling.
Bring a bad luck because if you've seen his injuries.
When you learn from a Guerrero, Eduardo, you learn his mistakes too.
But he'll be all right. He'll bounce back, I'm sure. He's Jersey tough, and he's a lunatic. So I graduated high school in 05. About 16, I started training with Joe, who worked at a speed school, which were these new things that were popping up in the area called police and speed school. Joe was a trainer.
This is why we don't have chair shots to the head anymore.
I start training and there's, handfuls of guys that were NFL guys. Dave D.O.B.
Buff Blockbuster.
Left back from the New York Giants, played 10 years, 2 Super Bowls. He works in the back there. And Joe just got this grinded out atmosphere where guys are just putting in work that you never saw at police. It's like the people who are police are serious about college football. They're serious about training. They're serious about the atmosphere just grew to a point.
That's a heavyweight champion taking high-risk moves like powerbomb off the top rope in the corner, doing that. And to me, I was like, not only is Mike a great champion, he's a great representative of ECW and a great guy to be on top of that pedestal.
I was part of that atmosphere. I played college football. I knew I wasn't going to make it in college football, but the whole time I was at Joe DeFranco's. I became known as EA all day. It was a wrestling persona that I put on because everybody said I was going to be a wrestler. That was it.
It doesn't matter what time it is. I'm on the air.
I guess the earliest memory I have to date would be, Shawn Michaels winning the Royal Rumble, and leading up to it, I was watching Saturday mornings. When I was a kid, my parents didn't want me to know that wrestling was on TV outside of Saturday mornings. Okay, then somebody gave me the Iggy. Okay, there's more wrestling. One of my buddy's older brothers. Next thing I know, I'm watching, playing with the action figures, and Shawn Michaels was life to me as a child. I mean, life. There wasn't wrestling. There was Shawn Michaels, and I'd eat, breathe, sleep, playing with his action figure all day and pretending I was him. So when he went over in a Rumble, and Pamela Anderson was the prize. Okay, I'm a little kid. I'm watching Baywatch. You pretend you don't like girls, but I'm like, look at that thing. That's a prime piece of real estate. And this guy just entered the Royal Rumble. Undersized guy. Goes in.
Hashtag my retina, motherfucker.
Skins the cat at the end. Comes back in. Throws the bulldog over. Pamela Anderson sitting in the middle of the ring. I'm saying to myself, this guy's the freaking man, dude. Who's better than this guy? That's exactly what I want to be. So when I was a little kid, they asked us to draw pictures in the school, what you want to be when you grow up. Kids are drawing firemen, kids are drawing policemen, kids are drawing all this stuff. And they're cardboard cutouts, and they connect them all down the hallway in your elementary school. Every single grade, every single homeroom. I draw a picture of me with a vest that says sexy boy, yarn on my chest, hair, yarn mullet coming out, long earrings hanging, boy toy written on the legs. These people let me do it. They get a kick out of it. All the kindergarten teachers and everything, they hang it up on a wall. Then they call my parents in for a parent-teacher conference. Like, look at what your son did. Well, it's already on the wall. My parents are embarrassed. They won't let me watch wrestling for a string of time. I'm out there super kicking kids on the playground, getting all sorts of trouble.
String them up.
That's always what I wanted to do.
But tell me about
Put them up on the Undertaker cross.
Shoot, what? 95, 91 against.
String this Big Cass motherfucker up.
7 years old.
Good and fast forward 8 years because you guys
Fast.
y'all are playing hoops and the lots.
Big Cass is fast.
Because how far were you guys apart? How did you guys just come upon each other? Because y'all been.
Here's the thing about Big Cass.
The thing is, we met. We didn't
He's
know
a
each other.
wrestler,
We met.
a hustler,
Each other. When he saw me again,
a muscler,
I had my tryout at FCW.
a fusser, a busser, a cusser,
There's a video of me playing high school football.
a husser.
I did like this little promo, and I slammed Victor Cruz and German suplex on the field, and I was talking smack, and he saw it on Barstool Sports because it was the Leisure Super Bowl and went viral. So he recognized me on my tryout, but I had no prior wrestling experience. Then we got to shoot in the breeze and realized that we had met each other playing hoops in New York City.
At the Cage downtown. It's on West 4th Street and 6th Avenue in New York City. It's a famous like street hoops type thing.
Right.
This motherfucker had a gay me. Ball. Now you're playing ball when you're bigger. He's younger, so he doesn't have dementia like the rest of us 40, 50, and 60-year-olds. Wrestling dementia. What match was that? When did we wrestle? What was the time we gave that guy a Styles clash and scared the shit out of Jericho? Look at Jericho's face when he takes the Styles... Sorry. Look at Jericho's face when he gets a Styles clash, and Jericho has a look on his face that can't be described and sums up the reality of pro wrestling. We're going to pause on this a minute. We're going an hour. I'll tell you to go home at the 60-minute mark, boys. I did that. I didn't understand Bret Hart's psychology. Brett, did you ever wrestle at the Sportatorium? Bad news, Brown. I'm going to punch Steve Austin the next time I see him again. You can get your bottle. What? Thunderbird. When I was young, they told me it was fake. The liberal Harry. What about Ox Savage? Ox Savage. Let's talk about the old tournaments in PWI magazine. These kids don't know what they're missing. Official PWI, when are you going to get that tournament back going? This is NRA DX. We might dual stream here. I don't know if that's possible. No. Showing a little ass there. Shut down the mirror. Oh, now we're breaking walls.
Good. And yeah, that includes shining the baby up, getting some shit in, but it's not like all of your trademark stuff. You ain't going to get every single thing you do in on every single match. It just don't happen like that. So the story's told, grind down the heat, he's fighting with the tag. Man, you can manipulate that referee a little bit for a false tag and have him out of position and let you guys do that too much anymore. That's kind of a lost art, but going back to my original thoughts, it's all about putting the work in and building the damn thing, because what sometimes if you watch, and currently, or you can see it back in the day, the guys are out there trying so hard, they're playing to the crowd before it's time to play to the crowd, work organically, keep the focus within that squared circle.
Oh, I can't remember that. Steve Austin, BSR. Bad stolen riches.
Begging them to come, you want them to come later.
The Cobb County antithesis.
Just you need to do something to hook the crowd.
They need to be invested in what's going on.
Right.
And especially in our tag matches, our advantage on the card is we have the hot tag. no other match, you know, there's other tag team matches, but as a tag team match, that's your immediate advantage walking into the building against every other match, the hot tag. So the most important part of the match, in our opinion, is the heat. You got to build to that tag, so it's not just a tag, it's a hot tag.
Yeah, but and the heat has to be severe enough or enough that warrants you want the baby face to make the damn tag.
And you know what I hate is when you got 8, you go out on TV, or you got 10, you got 12, and you see the baby face shining up. You know, to me, the most important thing is that we get a good heat, because a good heat leads to that hot tag. And one thing about me is, you'll see me selling, all right? You're not going to see me fighting back in the heat, because I'm not blowing a comeback for Big Cass. I don't want to ruin the comeback for Big Cass. So I'll evade. I'll move out the way. I rarely ever will hit an offensive move. Might throw a punch at your stomach, something like that, but I'm just trying to draw in the people. Let's blow the roof off with this tag, and we work with great heels down at NXT. Guys like Dash Dawson, Blake Murphy, Bob Bell, so creative with eluding the referee and beating around the bush with these rules and, you know, stipulations that are within the context of what we do, that you can't, hurt the referee. You get one save.
Can't bury the ref.
Can't bury the ref. So we do these creative things. We're elusive in the fact that, we're behind the referee's back. Or sometimes we do things that aren't illegal, but by the way we do them, the crowd would think it's illegal.
Right. You ever studied very much Ricky Martin?
Oh, yeah, you ain't lying,
Man,
man.
talking about selling. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe keeping himself
Oh,
alive.
I got
He
more
was
work
fighting
to do.
back. And that's the thing that I really loved about what the rock and roll did. Now, Robert was a little bit of a bigger guy, but not a big guy. And Ricky was certainly a smaller guy. But the thing about this, he never worked cruiserweight style. He always got his shit in. I mean, he's gonna punch you now. Finally, he'd go.
Steve Austin, BSR.
Use that nose of always, and that would kind of be his Achilles.
Repeat it 5 times.
He just had that fire.
BSR, Steve Austin. Steve Austin, BSR. BSR, Steve Austin. BSR, Austin, Steve. Rizib, East, Snista.
Hook spot, and then go back down, and boy, by the time they started working that leg, and just boy, maybe he pulled that tape off and all the color. Man, the people were just coming unglued for that hot tag.
Hottest hot
and so
tag.
that was good. But I want to talk to you about, because you said Big Cass, very, very important. You said you want people invested in that match, and so part of the investment in you guys' match is the fact, and I just caught the, I guess it was when the tag match from a month ago when you worked with Revival.
Yeah.
See, that's the one that opened my eyes, because I knew you guys were around, and I didn't understand what the soft was. We were talking about this the other day backstage, SAWFT. We'll get to that. But one of the things that I liked about you guys.
Broken snowboard reaction. Darknet, dark web, dark wave, black spider. Job out to Dusty. Job out to Dusty. You might as well be doing a Satan Circle angle with Kevin Sullivan, the Dark Angel. Oh. Cass. I shouldn't have popped that trigger, Steve. If you're going to take this weapon off me, how do I send it to you? How many guns? Jobber of England. I never took a bump but once. My voice is squeaking like Stephanie McMahon first time she got up on the stick. You guys, I'm going to have to cut you off in a few minutes. We're going into overtime, folks. I'm sending this last message, and I'm shutting Big Cass down. Boom! Mobile strike. Okay, guys, we're shutting down the system. On the next episode, I'm going to be reviewing the tweets and retweeting Enzo and Big Cash. Big Cash. Brain, intelligence, guns, cash, ass, secrets, and service. What are you doing? Good night, guys. I'm broadcasting this program. Have a good night. All right, guys. That's all for today's hour-long, 7-minute episode of 28 seconds presented by Will Smith and the NFL with respect to shutting down the system.